What I'd never buy again. Handbag regrets and why. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and thank you for joining me in the Babe Cave. Today we are diving into a juicy topic. Handbags I regret buying and why I'd never buy them again. Now this isn't to bash any certain brands or high-end, low-end, contemporary. It is not to bash any of those. It's just what worked and what didn't work for me, and my honest experiences with the bags and reviews of the bag. But rather share honest experiences that I hope will help you make better bag buying decisions. So grab a coffee or your favorite bag and let's get into it. The first bullet point, the trend trap. And you know as well as I that I have fallen into the trend trap. Like many of you, same thing. You see a bag over and over on a video and you immediately want to add to cart. And that is what we're talking about, the trend trap. The first bag looked amazing on platforms, YouTube, Instagram, but I didn't think about the versatility or that I also have sold a bag in this silhouette before. And I've worn this bag one time and I love the colors and I love the black background. The silhouette is a struggle for me. Even though it's beautiful and I like the bright neon colors, but for some reason this one for me is not one that I've been grabbing, and I kind of bought it on impulse when I saw it on Goodwill or something, and I had to clean it up a little bit, but I just loved the colors and I've worn it once since I've got it. And I think because I loved seeing everybody's on video, but when you get it in person, sometimes it just doesn't feel the same. So the lesson I learned is don't buy a bag just because it's trending. Buy what fits your style. Another one, everybody was buying sparkly rhinestone little bags like this. So of course I had to do the same, and I've worn it one time. I don't love how heavy it is, how squishy it is. Now it's for sale because I've worn it one time. I have no interest in these rhinestone bag look. I just don't like it. I don't know why I thought I did. So this is definitely a regret, and yeah, it's gotta go. This next one I'm not sure I ever showed on my channel because I wanted to buy the R word, and you saw it in my background last video or the video before. I don't know if I showed it. I thought this bag looked so cool, so I bought the rep of it. I like the look of it, but the functionality of it, no. One, the opening is odd right here. The hardware is broken. So it's not the real thing, but just the amount of space and this weird pointy thing, the F, like I don't want this. I don't need it. I would never pay thousands for it. So this was a test run for me, and I would never buy this trend. So sometimes it's really good to buy a rep so you know if it's actually going to work for you. And so this was a no way. I don't even see people showing these anymore. I mean, the real thing. So I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, it's kind of that ugly yellow gold. Here was the cheap plastic strap. No, I wouldn't buy the fake or the real of this bag. Nope, not a fan. The next one is too high maintenance. And I know we all have our favorite leathers, and some of those leathers are easily scratched, high maintenance leathers. For instance, right here, this is the Dooney medium crossbody. I really like this bag because of how smooth the leather is, and this wouldn't show up scratches like the natural Florentine would. But I got color transfer on it once, which I was able to get off, but now I'm scared to carry it. Even though I can make it a shoulder strap, I haven't sold it. I don't know what to do with it, but it is very high maintenance. Can't wear jeans, don't want to wear it with jean shorts, so I still have it because it is so smooth and gorgeous. I have not got myself to sell it. So this one's way high maintenance for me. The color, it doesn't show scratches, but I'm still kind of scared about that. I'm scared about color transfer. This is high maintenance to me. This next one is also a leather pillow Madison. I really love the look and everything about this bag, except I'm scared to use it. I'm scared to scratch this beautiful Napa leather. It's gorgeous. I've worn it a couple of times. I'm so scared that my nails are going to scratch it. I love the look and I don't want to get rid of it, but man, this is high maintenance to me. Yeah, I can probably wear it in any weather. I'm not sure about that, but I just worry about this leather so much that I have not really wanted to carry it. So I have to make a decision on this, whether I'm just going to go for it, because I really do like it. I like the size. I love the color, the hardware, everything. So either I pass it on and sell it, or I use it because I really like it. But this is a high maintenance bag. So the lessons I've learned about high maintenance bags is maybe Florentine leather or Napa leather is really luxurious and really pretty, but may not be for my lifestyle, or I'm too paranoid to carry them. You know, suede bags, some people have an issue with their high maintenance, but I keep those in dust bags and I don't feel scared to carry those. And I have other Florentine bags that I will carry that I'm not scared of, and they've gotten a couple of scratches, but for me, I do not like the scratched look, and especially if it's a deep scratch and it's right on the front, I won't use it. So that's why I'm scared of these high maintenance bags, but I still really like them as well. So let me know if you know what I'm talking about and you have some high maintenance bags that you're afraid to carry, but you don't want to get rid of, but you need to use them. Put them down below. Another one that I bought was an impulse buy, and it was the Red Apple Pillow Tabby 26, and I sold it because the leather, I was scared of the leather again. I didn't love the red color. It was more like a dark brick red, and it was not dark or light red. It was just not the color I really am drawn to. So I sold it because I wasn't wearing it. I was scared to wear it because it's high maintenance too. It's the same Napa leather. So I just sold that one. And I know everybody bought one of those bags. I don't think I would ever repurchase one. And even if I had a choice to repurchase it, I don't know that I would. So that is definitely an impulse high maintenance bag as well. Another one I sold that was high maintenance was my Coach Ergo 33. I loved the look of it, except it was huge, and it was the smooth glove tan leather. It wouldn't sit up. It was a good deal, and so it was kind of an impulse buy, and I regretted it almost the second I received it because I just am so scared of scratching a bag. I don't think that for me, if I am so paranoid about it, where I'm going to set it, even with the purse hanger, there's too many things that could happen to a bag, and if I spend so much money, I don't want to use it, and I need to let it go. And that was one that I sold. No regrets about selling that, because when a bag doesn't sit up on its own, like in a chair next to me or something like that, then I just worry about it falling over into the floor. So that one was high maintenance. Regret buying it. Should have not bought it, even though it was a good deal. The next one, which I don't have really any of these, is poor quality, big price. Now, if I'm getting poor quality on something I paid a lot for, it's going to get returned. If I see stitches loose that I've paid a really good amount for and the stitching looks off, or it has a scratch already, or something like that, then that's poor quality for a big price that I am not doing. I will not put my hard-earned money on an expensive bag and it's not done at the best quality. And sometimes I have been hearing, just because the Louis Vuittons and the Gucci's and the Pradas and all of that are high priced, some of their quality has gone down as well. I saw, some stitching issues, or the canvas is bent here, or it's not lined up. You pay so much money for those bags that they honestly should have triple checked at quality control, because that is an expensive price for anyone to pay for a handbag and you want it to be perfect. So that one is a no-brainer. I would just return anything I bought that had maybe the zipper stuck, or it's missing something that you need inside the bag. I mean, there's a bunch of criteria for me when it comes to a higher price bag, and so I don't even mess with it. I will return it within the window, and that's it. Even if the bag has the best advertisement, celebrity sponsor, if it's not made at an excellent quality, these people get these bags for free. The celebrities, the influencers for these bigger names and designer luxury. So if they're getting best quality, I want the same thing. I just don't waste money anymore on those high dollar bags. I feel like vintage is the way to go. I don't want to spend thousands anymore on a handbag. I am being a little more choosy also on which my next bag will be, because I don't want any more regrets. I just want a solid collection that I can use, and there's always going to be a couple that are finicky or high maintenance, but I can live with a couple, but not like my whole collection cannot be high maintenance, because I'm just not high maintenance, and neither will be my bag be. The mini bags, and I just brought my cute little denim. This is a bag charm, but some mini bags are this size. This is adorable, and I love it. But this is not a functional any capacity where you could just carry this around. At least not for me. My phone is like double the size of it. But they are cute, and I think this one's kind of my collector item. I will use it for inside the bag, lipsticks and hand sanitizer. That's fine. But I'm not carrying a little tiny bag like this on me. I'm not a child. I'm an adult. This is tiny. Like, I'm not tiny. Maybe it works better if you're petite anyway, and I just don't want to carry something this tiny. She's cute, but not functional or helpful. Doesn't fit your phone. It's fun for photos. It's fun to see off the side of a bag. It is adorable. It really is, and it looks like the large Rowan, but just mini size. So it's cute, but I wouldn't spend a lot of money on a mini bag, because I like to carry my phone. I like to have my card holder, my keys typically, and some hand sanitizer. I choose more things in even a grab and go bag. So next up, we're going to talk about impulse buys, which I named a couple of them. I already talked about that were also high maintenance, but impulse buys is another one that I have really stopping myself from, because sometimes those impulse buys, you like the look of them, but when you actually use it, it's really not for you. I bought this one, for instance. It's a Kurt Geiger, and I like it. It's denim. I went denim crazy. I never took the Eiffel Tower off. I just have a lot of denim, and I was on the hunt for this once I saw all these videos on it, and I like it. I like parts of it. But would I have bought it if I was just in TJ Maxx? I'm not sure I would. Sometimes when I receive things in person after the impulse buy, I wear it and I am not that big of a fan of it. And this is one of them. It's for sale. I have too much denim anyway. It has a back pocket. It is nice. And the details of it is pretty and cute. And I like the brass almost colored hardware. It's like a muted gold, I guess. But sometimes these impulse buys are not all that they're cracked up to be. When you buy stuff on a whim or a sale, or, sometimes I remember of someone saying, I don't buy bags anymore unless I see them in person. And you know what? Sometimes when I go to Dillard's or Macy's or Coach, when I see an overhyped, trend bag in person, I'm like, I don't like it. It's not for me. So sometimes I miss going inside a store to actually see if it's worth me buying it. And some are really great in person that I didn't realize were great in person. So I think there is an advantage of actually walking into the mall, going to see the actual bags, and that way is it going to work for you? I think I only used this bag once or twice. I didn't see it in store, and yeah, I should have held off on it. So I have, other impulse buys that I've bought and sold by now as well, and we live and learn and figure out what your style is, your purse style, what you can handle it with the leather being finicky or scratching. I think that for me, I want to really be sure of my next purchase. I don't want to be looking for something that's high maintenance, that is just a trend that I may not like in person, or the impulse buys. We've all done it and are guilty of it, and I've wasted money. That is what hurts the most, is it's a waste of money, because not always do I make my money back on every bag that I sell. So whether you buy it and you lose $10, $20, $50, $100 on it, that's not good with your money that you work hard for. So that's all I'm getting at. I have regrets, and I have sold some. I have some for sale. Always check my links down below. I sell on Poshmark and Mercari. I also thrift bags as well, so there are always some new ones added on those links, so be sure and check them out if you're looking for a purse. Those would be my regrets, my bag regrets. Do you have any? Let me know down below. Did you sell it? Did you keep it? Do you have those high maintenance bags where you have them, but you really aren't wearing them? And when are you going to wear them? So these are just questions I talk about to myself. Drop in the comments if you have any of these where what I'm talking about resonates with your collection as well. And if you found this helpful for your future buying of a bag, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. It's all about handbags and reviews and unboxings occasionally, not very often as much anymore. Because I have a big collection, and I am sure something will catch my eye soon, but it just really hasn't right now. That is all I had for today. I thank you for stopping by and watching me, and I do appreciate that. And until next video, I will talk to you soon. Bye.